Welcome to this important subject, and welcome to this important panel discussion, which is future of steel projects in India. As you know, the steel industry remains the fundamental industry for the growth of metallurgy in the country and growth of economy in the country. And the economy, the emphasis of our economy is infrastructure development. And if infrastructure development has to happen, then it has to have a very strong foundation and very strong support from steel industry. So the future of steel industry does not only affect the steel customers, but it affects the Indian economy, the national economy as well. So to that extent, the future of steel projects remains a very vital subject of interest for not only steel people, but also people who are interested in economy, who are interested in the growth of this country. So for discussing these subjects, we have very eminent people who are actively involved in implementing the steel projects across the country, not only across the country, across the over the borders of the country, in other countries also. They are implementing steel projects. They are executing the steel projects, erecting the steel plants, commissioning the steel plants. So these are two experts with us. One is Mr. AC Kapoor. AC Kapoor is managing director, chairman, managing director of EMC Group, and he is there in the scene for last, I think, 40 plus 45 years. How many years, sir? Around 50
48.
48
Almost
years.
50. You can say 48.
Years. So he is he has seen the industry growing from nowhere to what stage it is today, and he has a lot of contribution in the growth of this industry. He has made lot of plants in India, abroad also. So welcome, Mr. AC Kapoor, for this very important
discussion.
And we will have the benefit of your experience, and I'm sure you will share your experiences and your view about the future of steel projects in the country. Another eminent personality we have is Mr. Rajesh Singh. Rajesh Singh is the help of the affairs of Singh and Associates. They are also big time consultants and big time plant commissioners, and they have commissioned lot of plants, lot of units in India and abroad, in various continents, not only in Asia, but in various continents. So I welcome Mr. Rajesh Singh for this important discussion. Welcome, Mr. Rajesh.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So now we move on to, I'll just give a preamble. As I told you, the importance of steel projects is eminent. Steel projects in this country is eminent. So what is the status? I see that we have a Government of India, Ministry of Steel has set up a very ambitious target of reaching a capacity of 300 million tons per year by 2030-31. So that is one benchmark which we have created for ourselves. And to reach their benchmark, then we are having projections of yearly growth in capacities, yearly growth in steel plants. But unfortunately, we are lagging somewhere in that. So the growth of demand, steel demand, is another factor which is happening actually. As I see, the steel demand is growing, and many analysts feel that if steel demand is not being catered by the Indian plants, if Indian plants do not come to the point where they can fully cater to the steel demand, there is a fear of imports rising to a phenomenal level. So the steel projects again remain very vital factor in catering to the demand of infrastructure development which is currently happening in the country. So but there are hurdles. There are hurdles, like I can say that first of all, land acquisition law is not in place, so you cannot getting a land for big land, steel plant requires land, and getting a big land in a country like India where land acquisition law is not in place, so it is a problem. So most of the development is happening as a brownfield growth, and so it has a limitation, of course, as you all know, we all know. So in that, how do you see the future of the steel projects in India? See, again, another point is we have design companies like Mecon, MN, but they are limited, and they are only seem to be doing. I mean, their perception is that they are doing work only for big integrated plants. What about the medium scale and small scale plants? So all these issues are there. So first of all, I would like both of you to have your opening remarks on this subject. that what is the future? What do you see the future of steel projects in India amongst all these hurdles and among all these scenario? Mr. A.C. Kapoor, to start with.
Mr. Chandekar, I will say one thing mainly, that today for mega projects, banks also are having a negative attitude
Okay.
because of so many plants failed. And
Hmm.
due to that, not a lot of plants which are now in the verge of closure are being
Yeah.
taken over by others. So
Uh,
that is one aspect of the projects where we may see all these plants which are closed and which are 1 million, 2 million ton capacity, which may come up. But basically, for setting up any greenfield stage, as you said, land is an issue. But apart from land, pollution regulation and stable power, they become important. And if you consider these two also for the project, and you get land and you get power, then comes the condition of raw materials availability. If we go with plants where raw materials are easily available, whether market is in the vicinity, because today logistics costs are going to be very heavy. If we set up in one corner of India and ports are far away from that, and that gives a lot of problem. So we have to rather break these projects into three categories. Greenfield project is there. Then forward integration of the projects is second. And third is upgradation of facilities and value addition. And I will talk more on alloy steel and stainless steel, where
Sure,
plants are basically in the nature of 300,000 tons, 500,000 tons maximum. And these require, so I'll put it that way, okay, for alloy and stainless steel plant, we have to distinguish where the raw materials are available and where is the market. Whether we are thinking of imported raw materials and exports also, then in that case, it is important that we should be near to a port city.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the cost of logistics in both cases just remove the profitability. And availability of input raw materials in India, if they are available, then in that case, if we have a market totally oriented to exports. Because while setting up the project nowadays, we consider that every type of steel is available in India in imported fashion, or it is produced in India. So the quality of product has to match the very best in the industry. So on quality, there can be no compromise. Cost of production, there can be no compromise, as also on the productivity. And that is where we come to the layouts of the plant.
Yeah.
In the layout, if zigzag operations are there, we can never have good productivity, and cost of production will always go up. While setting up a project, second main aspect is initially every promoter thinks that I'll set up this much and I'm satisfied. But within a couple of years, they start thinking of expansion. So if those provisions in layout are created initially, that as and when the expansion is going to take place, we should be there without any problem to add up the equipments. Because you will see many plants where in one end of the shed, they put water complex and pollution equipment. So that blocks the expansion on that end. So all these things, when doing the projects, we have to take care. Then power rate is a very important factor.
Yeah.
Today, if we go to Bombay side, Pune side, power rates are almost 7.5 to 8 rupees.
Yes.
While in Chhattisgarh, we have rate of only 4 rupees.
Correct. Correct.
Even Telangana, with a new state, they are giving so much benefits that power rate becomes almost 3.5 rupees a unit. So those aspects are very important. I think Mr. Rajesh will agree with me on these, that unless we take care of these things, it is impossible to have a viable plant. And we have come to the conclusion with different panels, different technocrats, that integrated steel plants are for structurals and wire rods and all those things, while electric-based power plants have to be value addition, because in the long run, these plants will otherwise not survive.
I know. So yeah, that's a good input and good opening remarks from Mr. S.C. Kapoor.
I'll
And
add up into that. That today with Make in India campaign, the defense, aerospace, and nuclear, these steels for these applications have a major use, and we can totally eliminate imports if the units start working on these lines. Let's say, for example, Nagpur, though it is a landlocked city, but there are 5 defense factories within the reach of 300 kilometers from this place. So if any unit starts thinking on this line, defense, aerospace, and nuclear, and already solar power has made a name, they need missiles and steel for those. They have come up in a big way for explosives and BrahMos and all those. So it will be a good thing to select such places for the projects.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kapoor, for your opening remarks. So these are some of the parameters which have to be taken into consideration while conceiving a steel project. Mr. Rajesh, your opening remarks, please.
Actually, you had asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, please.
In one go. So the first thing you were talking about was a 300 million ton target. So this is something that we've been hearing for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you know. And just talking about such targets have no meaning. And the growth of any country is or any industry is never in isolation. So when the overall infrastructure in the country grows, that's what increases the demand. And then but however but the fact is that that the steel growth today is definitely happening despite the fact that there is a little depression now because of various reasons, and also because of the international market. You might have heard that recently there is a lot of dumping by countries like Japan and South Korea, because the demand in Europe has dwindled. So they are dumping their excess steel on India. So I'm sure maybe the government will look into this so that the domestic industry is protected. As far as the new projects are concerned, which is what you asked actually mainly, is the first constraint is land, which is true. This land problem exists. We have a client in UP, for example. They are planning a big project of 1 million ton plus, and they've been looking for land and trying to acquire land for the last 1.5 years, and still they have not been able to do so. And so there are a lot of such entrepreneurs and companies who definitely face such hurdles. And then there is the factor of water requirement and other things. And when people talk of there are one are the big players, right? So we have JSPL, we have JSW, then AMNS, Tata. So we keep them aside for the moment because they are, as everybody knows, they are as we speak, they have embarked on big expansions, and I think Tata being the front runner in that, as far as expansion plans are concerned, and they have already started on many projects parallelly. Then there are the mid-level players who are also very big, like 5,000, 10,000 crores companies, crore companies, and these are the companies who had smaller capacities like 0.3 million ton, 0.4 million ton, and scattered. But now everybody's aiming for 1 million ton, and so people are in the process of acquiring land. I would say that despite the present depression, the industrialists are very optimistic about the future growth of India. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that we have seen such optimism in the industry. Again, I repeat, despite the temporary downturn, yeah. But on a midterm or a long-term basis, everybody's very hopeful, and everybody is trying to forge ahead and take their place in the growth, and get a piece of the cake. And as far as products are concerned, in hot rolling, so I'm not talking of the alloy and special steels. Actually, alloy steels generally, I would say in the coming years, there will be a slight dip in the demand because of electrical cars. And the sort of alloy steels that Mr. A.C. Kapoor was talking about for aeronautical or defense, the quantities are very small there. The quantities are not very large. So it's only specialized companies who will be able to get into such steel making, and it's very, very specialized. But the for the flat and long, whether it's rebars or wire rods, structurals, and then flats, plates, hot strips, I think the growth is well-rounded in our country. The mid-level players who were in longs all the time, they are now getting into flats. And there are now projects with medium width strip mills also that are coming up, like 4, 5, 6 mills are coming up in the country with their own steel making. So yes, I would say that there is growth and there is hope of growth in the future. The sentiment is very important. That's why everybody is planning ahead, and the support from banks is there, but they are very stringent these days with regard to the equity being first put down by the company or by the industrialist. They want him to spend the money first before they give it. Yeah, but then there is a lot of funding available from
international sources. Yes.
From international sources also. So things are happening. I'm after many decades, I think we are fairly hopeful that things will turn out better than before. Not that we will reach 200 million or 300 million, in a decade or something magical will happen. But I can surely say that compared with before, things are moving faster and better.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Continue to do so. Yeah.
Thank you for your positive reaction, and it is very heartening to note that you said the industry is bullish, in spite of steel projects having a very long gestation period, 3 to 4 years, or maybe slightly more than that. But
and also prices have dropped. So when the prices are high and the industrialists are earning. So, you know, they are very buoyant and bullish. And so they plan very, very big things. But then as soon as the prices go down, then their spirits also go down slightly. But they are still forging ahead. I mean,
Yeah,
they,
that shows
you know,
a very positive sign of the
yeah.
industry. And in spite of recent development like Ukraine-Russia war and all that, and as you said, Europe demand going down, dumping happening in India and all that. In spite of all that, if the industry is bullish on steel, that means it is a really, really positive thing. Mr. AC Kapoor, आप
इंडस्ट्री हाँ बोलिए बोलिए
नहीं continue, please.
I was saying that bullish is the market and the industrialist, but many times people do not have fund. We have one of our client who says that now my all equipments are free. I'm earning about 4 to 5,000 CR per year. Let us put a mega project. Now, when this type of things come,
मेगा प्रोजेक्ट होएगा
हैं?
2 और 5 CR में कहाँ से मेगा प्रोजेक्ट होएगा?
नहीं 4,000 to 5,000 CR.
Okay.
4,000 to 5,000 CR is the income per year.
Yeah.
And it is all debt-free company. So they are thinking of big project of 1 million ton, 1.5 million ton into stainless steel and all those things. Similarly, there are other clients. One client, both Mr. Rajesh Singh was there looking after the rolling mill area. They were talking about setting up a cement plant, a steel plant. And now they have purchased a old plant to upgrade that. So that type of investments will certainly come. And I'll say that industries should be cautious. Setting up a plant may not be that difficult, but they should very clearly have the target market. The product will go to which market. And initially itself, they should ensure that cost of production and quality. Because many plants in the eastern sector who have pig iron, sponge iron, but high phos content in that, and they want to make quality wire rods. So the process cannot be just a straight line. It has to be very well thought of, and at the same time with productivity measures. And it can be done. Indian market has today sponge iron and pellets. Lot of plants are producing that, but forward integration to that when they go in steel making without keeping that in view when they set up the plant, then in that case, that will create a lot of problem. Because today, if we see for any new project, we have productivity is the issue, pollution control is the issue, then land and power is the issue, and as Mr. Rajesh Singh said, water is the issue. Once these things are taken care of, then comes the product, what we are going to make, and what is our target market.
Yeah.
Maybe the promoter should have a market survey beforehand to ensure that he does not lose in the long run when production starts. They should target their market. That is my advice to any industrialist who is thinking of setting up a project.
Okay. Actually, Rajesh Singh also made one very valid point that it is not question of only steel demand. It is question of the full ecosystem. The full ecosystem has to be in place so that the projects increase and projects are in pace with the demand and the requirement of the industry. So I feel that companies like Mecon and MN Dastur, as I earlier told, they are catering to big steel plants, integrated plants. And of course, integrated plants have their own system of doing all these things. So there is a lack of such companies. If we have to move ahead with the pace which we have in mind, I think we should have more such companies in the field, which we don't have. Also, the raw material availability is an issue. So all these things are there. So how do you see
There's also one good thing happening.
Yeah.
Is that there's a lot of correction that has taken place because of this NCLT procedure and process,
Yes.
where assets that were lying dead or were being mishandled have now been taken over by other companies and being run better. It's all about efficient use of capital. If any country makes efficient use of its capital, then it is very beneficial for the economy. If it doesn't happen, then it's not so good.
Yeah, that's a good law which is now in place, and then a lot of hand changes can happen in the industry, acquisitions and see, coming to the projects implementation part. You people have been implementing in India, implementing the projects abroad. I would like to ask both of you, what change do you find when you implement a project, say in Middle East or South Africa, and in India? What is the difference? What is the difference in the implementation, maybe procedure, ease of implementation, or getting manpower, whatever? I mean, what difference do you find? Mr. A.C. Kapoor first, then Mr. Rajesh Singh.
See, when you ask about outside India, we had done 2 or 3 projects in Iraq,
Okay.
which was or war torn, and we saw that we had no problem to get land there, no problem to get water. Only thing, power systems are weak there. But that also they overcome by putting generator sets. Okay, they can't operate electric arc furnace on that. But they have gone with induction furnace route, larger capacity induction furnaces, and they are managing. When you go to African bloc, you have to be very cautious of Boko Haram, because a lot of kidnappings become the issue. Promoters provide you.
That's only in Nigeria, Kapoor साहब.
सब स्प्रेड कर रहा है सब जगह. अभी तो सब जगह स्प्रेड करना शुरू कर दिया है.
नाइजीरिया को छोड़ के
केन्या देख लीजिए, केन्या में कितनी प्रॉब्लम आ रही है. Today the promoters are living in a barbed electric wire, मतलब protected area, with contract with the air security system, that if you put an alarm, they will come from top and protect you. All those things are there.
No, the industry. Well, anyway, what my
just a minute, Rajesh. Just a minute. Let him complete. You after that you speak. Just a minute.
See, these may be the limited areas of such activity, but this when a new consultant goes there or a new industry is going there, they are not aware of it. If they land into that type of problem, as you said in Nigeria, yes, Nigeria problem is more, and that also not in the close of Lagos area, but close to other areas of the other units. There is a lot of problem.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'll say that we did project in Turkey, no problem. Land, power, manpower also is available. And we have been active.
Questions, sir, like this: where India needs to improve? In which areas India needs to improve?
In India, it should be one window clearance system for projects.
Okay.
That if as an industrialist I want to go there and I say I want to set up a steel plant, then in that and give my blueprint to them, they should be able to say these are the locations. These are the areas where you will be near to raw materials. This is the port city from which you can import. If that type of feedback can be given by government agencies who have a lot of surveys done. Otherwise, a consultant has to be clear in his mind what he is offering to the promoter. Because promoter requires a skilled manpower to operate the plant, a continuous power, so that stoppages are not there. Pollution clearances, because sometimes if you want to set up a ferroalloys plant, it takes 3 years to get the clearance of pollution. And that becomes a very big problem. Similarly, electric arc furnaces, now they have started saying primary and secondary. Now in secondary, lot of plants have come, but they are not becoming effective, totally pollution free. Because the cost of those pollution equipment like dog houses and others becomes so costly that industrialist says that abhi nahi lagayenge, abhi khali primary kar do. And that environment gets affected. And when all this is there, if we have skilled manpower, power, and proper consultant, productivity, quality, cost of production can all be taken care of. We have in India technical skill today with the consultants also, as also individual operating technical personnel also, where a good interaction and selection of all these parameters is possible. Only thing, as Mr. Singh also said, today banks are still apprehensive. They are coming out of that negative approach about steel, but they are very apprehensive. And that is where the
what can be done about it?
no, it has to be that as NCLT, now a lot of closed plants are being taken over and given to good operators. So in the process, banks are getting their money back, maybe not 100%, but 60%, 70%, 50%, they're getting back. And steel industry has to establish that no, we are setting up plant, we will service the debt also, and we will operate also. That the way we lost the phase, we have to recover that phase with passage of time only.
So it is our creation only. Whatever
Yes,
back
yes.
we have earned, that is our creation only.
I will say that.
Okay. Okay, Rajesh, what do you think? What is the difference? We were talking about the difference in implementing the projects outside India and within India. What difference do you find? Where we need to improve?
Yeah, it's what we've already talked about is the land acquisition takes a long time, but it's not as if we talk and somebody will listen and anything is going to change. There are so many things that are innately a part of the governance system of our country that changing things because we are a democracy. So democracies, I would say, sometimes more damaging and harmful than an autocratic system where things can get done faster, like in China. So yeah, so it's just this basically the land and the environmental, the MOEF has improved substantially from the Congress regime. Now it's much better, and within 6 months to 1 year you can get the permission and the CTE, so the consent to establish. So there's one area of improvement. Even in countries abroad, well, at least in America and other Europe or other places, environmental clearances take a long time.
Okay.
So otherwise, our entrepreneurs are very aggressive, I would say, because they are used to this environment where things don't get done easily. So they fight every day, and they get things done.
Yeah. Do you see a change in last decade or so in project implementation?
Yes, that more projects are now coming on the ground, like we discussed.
Yeah.
And the environmental process it has definitely improved. During Congress time, it used to take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Nobody knew. But the land is something to do with the people and the public, so it's not so easy. There is so much private land. Sometimes it's government land when it becomes easy, but when it's private land, then you have to negotiate with people, and everything takes time. Yeah, conversion of land from agriculture to industrial, that's also a big hassle. So there are some things inherent in the system which you can't wish away.
Yeah. Mr. Kapoor, you are in the business for last so many decades. What
Yes.
is the most striking change in the last decade in project implementation?
In project implementation and approach of promoter, I'll put it this way: positive. Let us think positive first thing.
Okay.
Promoter wants to start with a larger scale of operation. Earlier, it used to be that promoters will say, let us put 50,000 tons on 1 lakh ton per annum project. Today, they talk about 1 lakh tons per month projects.
Okay.
And that is a positive change. And I'll say that in progressive states, today land is also becoming less of a hassle because Industrial Development Council procures land and gives you 100 acre, 200 acre, 50 acre as the requirement is. And moment we get in industrial area, that means pollution clearance, power, sanitation all become much easier to start with because there are state policies. So I'll always recommend to people that if your plant is of small size, if your plant, you are not thinking of 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, then go pay higher price for the land in an industrial area where all other hassles are taken care of. Even skilled manpower is available. And there are lot of inquiries, lot of our promoters in India are thinking of going in big way. And with the easy money coming from different private bodies also now, lot of fund houses are giving finance to these people. I think we will see a rapid growth in next 10 years in India on steel.
Fantastic. So I can see that growth. Rajesh is so busy that he is doing his work while on the panel discussion also. So, Mr. Rajesh, let me discuss you for a while and ask your final take on what would be the next decade like. Continue your.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement with what Mr. Kapoor says. The next decade will be very exciting. I think something that India hasn't seen before.
Yes.
So I am extremely optimistic. And if the present government remains, after 24, then I think that we will see a lot of growth in the country, exceptional growth. Yeah.
Great. So, friends, so here are two eminent and veteran project managers, project companies, project implementation companies, which are saying that they are extremely bullish on our next decade as a country. And I also feel so, even though there are hurdles, like we discussed all these hurdles in the last 45-50 minutes or so, but the way forward also looks brighter one. And nothing to talk about any targets or any figures, but generally we all are in agreement that the project implementation project speed will increase in coming years and hassles will reduce. I don't know whether we will go to one window clearance system, but definitely the smoothing of the system will take place. That's what I feel for one. And with this, I think we had a very good and very crisp and very absorbing discussion on projects in steel projects in India. One can really get a good hang about the steel projects in the country. And if at all anything, last sentence, last remark one has to Kapoor Saab or Mr. Singh, you want to say something, or we can close down?
No, we can close down.
Kapoor,
Thank you.
Mr. Kapoor, you have anything?
No, I have said everything, and I think
So,
good discussion, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for
Thank
coming,
you, sir.
Mr. Rajesh Singh and Mr. A.C. Kapoor, in spite of your really busy schedule. And it was a very interesting discussion.
No,
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.